Alright, Shalom. First and foremost, Kala Layam, La Alayanawa, Yahweh, Bashim, Yahushai, Bashim, Makakodash, double honors unto the apostles and elders, a great millstone. Salutations unto the elect out there, the brothers are pushing his truth, and the sisters are listening and learning, being faithful unto the husbands and whatnot. Alright, so we're going to get into this lesson here. Basically, why Esau does what he does, you know. So we will start from the beginning with Genesis 27, and we have a lot of precepts that could go along with this, Lord willing, the Lord bring it forth to me as I go in, because I don't really have that much right now, but hey, God willing, it will in the spirit, right? So we'll start from verse 1. So it reads, and it came to pass that when Isaac was old, and his eyes were dim, so that he could not see, he called Esau his eldest son, and said unto him, My son. And he said unto him, Behold, here I am. And he said, Behold, now I am old, I know not the day of my death. Right, so that Isaac talking to Esau, right? Now therefore take, I pray thee, thy weapons, thy quiver, and thy bow, and go out to the field and take me some venison, right, or venison, and make me savory meat, such as I love, and bring it to me, that I may eat, that my soul may bless thee before I die. And Rebekah heard when Isaac spake to Esau his son, and Esau went to the field to hunt for venison, and to bring it. And Rebekah spake unto Jacob his son, saying, Behold, I heard thy father speak unto Esau thy brother, saying, Bring me venison, and make me savory meat, that I may eat and bless thee before the Lord, before my death. Oh, the mighty for players. But yeah, verse 8 it says, Now therefore, my son, obey my voice according to that which I command thee. Right, so now Rebekah talking to Jacob and letting him know, well, hey, this is scene, this is how it's going down. I'm going to tell her to do these things, just do it for me. You understand? And also, she doing this because she know of the deal that Esau made with Jacob, right? Which we're going to get into after, Lord willing, right? Because Christianity tend to butcher the story a lot, set up Jacob as the evil one and Esau as the good one, or the innocent one in this thing, right? So verse 9 it says, Go now to the flock and fetch me from thence 2 good kids of goats, and I will make them savory meat for thy father, such as he loveth. And thou shalt bring it to thy father, and he may eat, and that he may bless thee before his death. And Jacob said to Rebekah his mother, Behold, Esau my brother, Esau my brother is a hairy man, and I am a smooth man. My father peradventure will feel me, and I shall seem to him as a deceiver, and I shall bring a curse upon me, and not a blessing. Right? So Jacob was feeling a little shaky because, hey, if your father is touching me, gonna know, well, that his father will know that is him and not his brother. Right? So verse 13, it say, And his mother said unto him, Upon me be thy curse, my son, only obey my voice and go fetch me them. Right? So the mother basically saying, hey, you study that the curse, the curse will fall on me if it's to happen. You understand? That the curse fall upon me. You don't worry yourself. Just do what I tell you to do. Right? Because she's the one that commanded him to do what he doing. You understand? So, and that's the Lord working through her too. Right? So reach verse 14 it say, He went and fetched and brought them to his mother, and his mother made savory meat such as his father loved. And Rebekah took godly raiment of her eldest son Esau, which were with her in the house, and put them upon Jacob her younger son. And she put the skins of the kids of the goats upon his hand, and upon the smooth of his neck, And she gave the savory meat and the bread which she had prepared into the hand of her son Jacob. And he came unto his father and said, My father. And he said, Here I am. Who art thou, my son? And Jacob said unto his father, I am Esau thy firstborn. I have done according as thou hast. I believe that's supposed to be made as me. But anyway, according as thou badest me, arise, I pray thee, sit and eat of my venison, that thy soul may bless me. And Isaac said unto his son, How is it that thou hast found it so quickly, my son? And he answered, Because the Lord thy power brought it to me. And Isaac said unto Jacob, Come near, I pray thee, that I may feel thee, my son, whether thou be my very son. Shalakia, that thou be my very son, Esau or not. Right, so Isaac wasn't very sure. Right, because he said, but like, let me read verse 22. It says, And Jacob went near unto Isaac his father, and he felt him, and said, The voice is Jacob's voice, but the hands are the hands of Esau. Right, so that's what I'm saying. So, because he hearing the person song like Jacob, right, but the hand feeling like Esau, so he wasn't sure. You understand? So we're going down in here now, and we're going to see when they get convinced. They say, And he disowned him not, because his hands were hairy as his brother Esau's hand. So he blessed him. And he said, Art thou my very son Esau? And he said, I am. And he said, Bring it near to me, and I will eat of my son's venison, that my soul may bless thee. And he brought it near to him. And he did eat. And he brought him wine, and he drank. And his father Isaac said unto him, Come near now, and kiss me, my son. And he came near, and kissed him. And he smelled the smell of his raiment, and blessed him, and said, See, the smell of my son is as the smell of a field which the Lord had blessed. Right? So they were convinced him when he called Jacob to kiss him on the cheek. Right? He smelled him. Right? He smelled that thing, because when Jacob put on that clothing, right, the raiment that belonging to his brother Esau, right, he was convinced, right, because he was giving up that strong scent of the field, right, that wildlife kind of smell, right, so he was convinced, right. So verse 28, it said, Therefore power give thee of the dew of the heaven, and the fatness of the earth, and plenty of corn and wine. Let people serve thee, and nations bow down to thee. Be Lord over thy brethren, and let thy mother's sons bow down to thee. Cursed be every one that curseth thee, and blessed be he that blesseth thee. And it came to pass, as soon as Isaac had made an end of blessing Jacob, and Jacob was yet scarce gone out from the presence of Isaac his father, that Esau his brother came in from his hunting. Right? And I will get a precept also for verse 29 here. Right? I'm gonna grab it quick. Alright, so we read Deuteronomy 26 and verse 17. It says, Thou hast avouched the Lord this day to be thy power, and to walk in his ways, and to keep his statutes and his commandments and his judgments, and to hearken unto his voice. And the Lord had avouched thee this day to be his peculiar people, as he had promised thee. Right? So you're seeing the Lord say he made a promise with us, right? As long as we obey the Lord's statutes and commandments, right, he will keep up his end of the bargain, right? Which we're gonna get into. It's that thou shouldest keep all his commandments, and to make thee high above all nations which he had made in praise and in name and in honor, and that thou mayest be an holy people unto the Lord thy power, as he had spoken. Right? So remember when Isaac is Yahushua, right? So when Isaac gave Jacob that blessing, right, it was for this was part of it, right? When he mentioned the other nations would bow down to him and whatnot. that is talking about in the kingdom, right? Because all these nations and them gonna serve under us, right? Because the Yahushai kingdom comes into effect, right? And he's established as the king, right? We knowing that we're gonna be above these other nations, they're gonna be serving us, right? We're gonna be serving Yahushai as well as King David, right? Because King David above the 144, right? And all these other nations gonna be serving under us, right? Even these wicked two-thirds now, right? We know they're gonna be having servants to these heathens, and them it are enough heathens to go around, you know. So we're gonna be having heathens to be doing everything for us, and that's how it is, right? And as I mentioned earlier, we're gonna get into that what Esau did, you know, concerning his birthright, because this is why Rebecca did what she did, right? We're gonna get into it, right? But let me just read verse 1 here in Deuteronomy 28. It says, and it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy power, to observe and to do all his commandments which I command thee this day, that the Lord thy power will set thee on high above all the nations on the earth, and bless Salakia, and all these blessings shall come upon thee and overtake thee, if thou shalt hearken unto the voice of the Lord, right? The Lord thy power. So you see, the Lord say if we start to do his laws, statutes, and commandments, he will set us above all these other nations and whatnot. As we was reading in verse 29 in Genesis 27, right? Genesis 27. Hold on there. Yeah, verse 29 in Genesis 27. Right? So we established that part, right? Because this is where the promise here came into effect, right? Verse 30. Yeah, we go from verse 30 again. It says, and it came to pass, as soon as Isaac had made an end of blessing Jacob, and Jacob was yet scarce gone out from the presence of Isaac his father, that Esau his brother came in from his hunting. And he also had made savory meat, and brought it unto his father, and said unto his father, let my father arise, and eat of his son's venison, that I may bless me. And Isaac his father said unto him, who art thou? And he said, I am thy son, thy firstborn, Esau. And Isaac trembled very exceedingly, and said, who? Where is he that taken venison and brought it to me? And I have eaten of all before thou camest, and have blessed him. Yea, and he shall be blessed. Right? So Isaac now, when he's saying Esau, because remember Esau sounding like Esau right now, right? Esau sounding like Esau now, so they're not to say he thing, because he confused now, because somebody else comes saying that, and he was really wondering how Esau, which was Jacob, get everything that he asked for so quick, right? Because it takes time to hunt, you know, you're killing the animal, then you have to clean it, cook it, and all these things, right? So he went out and hunt for the animal, which take a while by itself, right? When Jacob just went right there in the flock, and, you know, killed 2 kids, you know, 2 baby goat, and, you know, mother cook up that quick and game it, you understand? So it didn't take much for Isaac to think now, because he's saying, but wait now, somebody tricked me by thing, you know. So he started to feel a little shaky there. He want to know, wait now, who's I give that blessing to if Esau now come, you know? And you see at the end here, they say, and yea, and he shall be blessed, meaning to say he can't take it back, right? Because you already blessed him, right? So verse 34 now it say, and when Esau heard the words of his father, he cried with a great and exceeding bitter cry, right? So he started to cry like a bitch, right? He was bawling out the place. It say, and said unto his father, bless me, even me also my father. And he said, thy brother came with subtlety and had taken away thy blessing, right? So you get to realize, hey, it's Jacob, because you really know it was something like Jacob, but you know he supplanted him, you understand? And verse 36, and he say, And he said, is not he rightly named Jacob? For he had supplanted me these 2 times, right? Because Jacob name means supplant, right? So that's why he's saying, so like we were saying in Trinity, that's why your name is really Jacob, because you're really a supplanter boy. You know that kind of way? So it say, he took away my birthright, and behold, now he had taken away my blessing. And he said, hast thou not reserved a blessing for me? Right? So now Esau question, and he claiming to say that Jacob took away, right, his birthright and take away his blessing, when he, from the beginning, is the one that gave it up. You understand? He's the one that gave it up, which we're gonna get into, right? So verse 37, right? So well, actually, he was asking the father if it's only one blessing he have. So verse 37 now it says, and Isaac answered and said unto Esau, behold, I have made him thy lord, and all his brethren have I given to him for servants, and with corn and wine have I sustained him. And what shall I do now unto thee, my son? Right? So Isaac said, you don't give Jacob all the blessings, what do you want me to do for you now? And and Esau said unto his father, hast thou but one blessing, my father? So he's still crying and he bawling. He's like, oh gosh, oh God, father, it's only one blessing you have. You must have our next one. He said, bless me, even me also, oh my father. Esau lifted up his voice and wept, right? So he bawling. He's like, see, I swear somebody cutting his hands, so he killing him. He bawling. Verse 39, it say, and Isaac his father answered and said unto him, behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth and the dew of heaven from above. Right? So that was Esau's blessing. Right? The fatness of the earth and the dew from the heaven above. And by thy sword shalt thou live, and shalt serve thy brother. And it shall come to pass, when thou shalt have the dominion, that thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck. Right? So you see, talking about the fatness of the earth, the riches and whatnot, and the sword he will live by and whatnot. That's why you see Esau, he's so skilled in military tactics and whatnot, because the modern day sword is guns and these things, rocket launcher, tank and all them things, anything lethal in that sense. Yeah, he's so skilled in that because that's his blessing. Now Jake's skilled with it too because we used to salt of the earth to begin with. You understand? So Jake basically gifted with anything. You understand? Jake's just naturally talented. Right? But that is Esau's blessing. So he will be more versed in it in terms of creating it, using it, all these things. Right? Verse 41 it says, and Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing wherewith his father blessed him. And Esau said in his heart, the days of mourning for my father are at hand. Then I will slay my brother Jacob. Right? So from that day, he gets vexed. Right? He gets seriously mad. Right? He gets seriously mad and he say, hey, you see when my father there, I want to kill you, boy. I want to kill you. So he was raging with anger. You understand? He was raging with anger because, his father also told him he will serve his brother Jacob. Right? When he know Jacob supposed to serve he. Right? In his mind, he telling him, because if he did get the birthright, right, or if he kept his birthright and received the blessing, then Jacob would have been the one to serve him, right? But now he's the one that had to serve his brother Jacob. You understand? So he was mad. And when they read down here, right, it say, and these words of Esau, her elder son, were told to Rebekah, and she sent and called Jacob her younger son, and said unto him, behold, thy brother Esau, as touching thee, doeth comfort himself, proposing to kill thee. Right? So she basically letting Jacob know this scene, hey, your brother looking to kill you because he's mad. He's mad. So in verse 43 now, it says, now therefore my son, obey my voice and arise, flee thou to Laban, my brother, to Haran. Right? So he tell him, hey, go by your uncle in Laban. Right? Verse 44, and tarry with him for a few days until thy brother's fury turn away. Right? So he tell him, hey, go there and relax yourself until your brother come. Now, if you stay here, you go dead. You understand? Because remember, Esau is a hunter, so it wouldn't be that hard for him to kill Jacob. You understand? And verse 45 it says, until thy brother's anger turn away from thee, and he forget that which thou hast done to him, then I will send and fetch thee from thence. Why should I be deprived also of you both in one day? Right? So you see, she don't want to lose her son Jacob, and she know what she did, right? It's only Jacob know what she did. Esau didn't know, because Esau would want to kill she too. You understand? So Rebecca just tell Jacob to go and stay with his uncle until the time being, right? So this is just one factor, right? This story here is just one factor of why it is Esau doing what he doing, right? Because the scripture mentioned this also, right? So there's Ezekiel 35 and 5. It says, because thou hast had a perpetual hatred and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword in the time of their calamity, in the time that their iniquity had end, right? So there's the Lord basically talking to Esau here, like, because you do all of this, you'll get effed up, right? But I read verse 5, because it's stating that Esau have a perpetual hatred, right, for us Jakes, right? That is why nothing he do, right, is for us to benefit, is for us to stray from the Lord, right? Because as I mentioned here, right, because we know they're talking about Esau too, because they say force oh God, and I shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword, right, which is his blessing, right, in the time of their calamity, right? That is when we started stray from the Lord, because we started giving to these heathen philosophies and whatnot, right? So you take that to his advantage, because everything in the system we were set is for us to go off. You understand? Everything we eat, we listen to, we do, whether it's work, it's home, whatever we consume, whatever we put on skin, whatever we think about, everything to just make us go off, but hey, it's true, shy, right? They send the Holy Spirit upon certain men, right, to receive this word and understand and come back to him, right? Because hey, if it wasn't for Yahweh Shai, we would have been in the darkness still, and all of we would have get destroyed. You understand? But the Lord say he not gone done away with Jacob. You understand? He not gone done away with the nation of Israel. So he sent back the comforter for us, as he promised. But right now Esau doing all these things to try and keep a lock on how his world running. You understand? Because he is the one that in Job 9 and 24, the earth is given into the hands of the wicked, right? So Esau doing all of this because he wants his house to live on forever, as it says in Psalms. The inward thought is that the house will live on forever, because they tell themselves, hey, the way how they set everything, that the perfect plan, right? Because as we read in the Genesis, Esau started scheming. It's from since back then. You understand? It's from since back then. And that reminds me of a scene in Naruto. I know much brothers might know about it. They might know of the anime, but not too much about it, right? But it reminds me of a scene, because I always mention how the Uchiha clan, right, and the Senju/Uzumaki clan is like Jacob and Esau. Is like the story, because it began with the tree with the fruit and whatnot and all these things, right? But the main part is when what was his name? Hagoromo, right? They could say Hagoromo was Isaac in that scene there, right? Now, to be honest, the whole scenario about Esau and Jacob, it's still kind of cloudy to me in reference to Naruto, right? But to me, it's like the switch it around. Esau does play games on it, right? But something that what was his name? Ashura mentioned, right? He was the Uchiha. Now he had special eyes, right? Because I always say the Uchiha clan represents Jacob, right? It represents Jacob. That is for other reasons. It was other long topic, right? But in this scene is like they switch it around, right? It's not Ashura. Indra was his name, right? Ashura was his brother, which I could say Ashura was Jacob in that scene to say, and Indra was Esau, because Indra was the older brother, right? It's just Indra had the Uchiha eyes, right? And Ashura, he was the younger brother, and he was the one that got the blessing from his father, right? And Indra was angry, right? So he said when his father died, he go try to, well, he actually did try to kill his brother while his father was alive and whatnot, right? But something that he mentioned was that for generation, he say he not going to rest even if he reincarnate after, right? He will keep on he will keep on pursuing him basically, right? Pursuing his brother. So it was lead on to generation, because after Indra and Ashura, it was Madara, Uchiha, and Hashirama Senju, and then further down the line again, it was Naruto and Sasuke. Okay, it was a constant fight between the two, right? Because they were being reincarnated. So it's like the same thing here now with Esau and Jacob, right? Because that's what Esau doing. Esau reincarnated as well as Jacob, right? So they basically passing down the plans, going on and on. But it's really and truly, it's the same spirit, the same devils coming back after every 3 and 4 generation, and they're plotting against Jacob. Because why? They have that perpetual hatred. You understand? So that's why Esau doing what he doing, right? Now let me get into the story with when Esau sold his birthright. Right, so we could read up, but for the essence of time, we're gonna get into it. We just jump to the point here, read from verse 29 or read from verse 28. Right, they say, and Isaac loved Esau because he did eat of his venison, but Rebekah loved Jacob. Right, so they both had their favorites. They were loved, right, but they had their favorites, right? Because Esau, you could say Esau was more of a man then, because he's the one out in the field hunting, doing this, doing that, and Jacob was the one more at home, right? So verse 29, it says, and Jacob sought pottage, and Esau came from the field, and he was faint, right? So Esau was basically dying or deading. He was hungry. And Esau said to Jacob, feed me, I pray thee, with the same red pottage, for I am faint. Therefore was his name called Edom, right? Because you see what he red pottage, he don't care if it cook, right? He's so hungry, he's gonna eat it just so. And Jacob said, sell me this day thy birthright, right? So Jacob proposed a deal to him, and Esau said, behold, I am at this point to die, and what profit shall this birthright do to me? And Jacob said, swear to me this day. And he sware unto him, and he sold his birthright unto Jacob. Then Jacob gave Esau bread and pottage of lentils, and he did eat and drink, and rose up and went his way. Thus Esau despised his birthright. Right, now, as I mentioned earlier, right, because we know the Lord mentioned that we not to eat anything if it's uncooked, right, to roughly put it, right, and Esau eat it, right, it wasn't cooked, it wasn't finished cooked, right, hence the reason why it's a red pottage, right, and hence the reason why his name is Edom, right, because Edom means red, right, and as you could see here, he sold his birthright onto thing. So Esau was the one really in the wrong, because he sold his birthright because he was like, hey, by hungry, this birthright didn't really serve him no purpose right now, and I'm hungry. So he swore to his brother that he would give him the birthright, right, which is the blessing he received from Isaac, right? And then Esau now, he mad when Jacob actually received the blessing. You understand? After you sold it, right? Because he said the enemy said Esau despised his birthright. You understand? He didn't know the true value of the birthright. He didn't understand, but Jacob knew. You understand? So Jacob made the deal with him, and he agreed. Right? So if you sell something, you can't be mad when somebody actually gets it. When you understand the value of it. You understand? You can't be mad because you usually want to do it. You understand? Jacob didn't say anything extra to say, but yeah, but right thing, really thing, you could give me that thing. He didn't say that. He just tell him, hey, send me the birthright. You understand? Because Jacob understood what the value of the birthright was. Esau didn't. So you can't be vexed for your what's the word? Misconception, if I use that in the right text, of the birthright, because you didn't understand, you didn't know. right? He was taking it for granted. You understand? So Esau, Jacob understood, and he valued the birthright. So he said, hey, well, why not make the deal? And the deal come to pass. That is why Rebecca and all got involved, right? Because he thing, and as you see above, right? Rebecca loved Jacob, right? So it didn't take nothing for her to do what she did, as we read in Genesis 27. You understand? It didn't take that much out of her to do what she did, because she know the deal that they made. You understand? She know the deal that they made. So it wasn't hard for her to do that, right? So Esau mad, and as we read, he sought it carefully with tears, right? So all of this is reason why it is Esau doing what he's doing, right? Because he trying to as the Lord say here, I'm gonna get it quick, right? So they Jeremiah 31 and 37, it said, thus said Yahweh, if heaven can be measured and the foundations of the earth searched out beneath, I will also cast off all the seed of Israel for all they have done, said the Lord, right? When he said for all that you have done was his sins, obviously, right? So this is why Esau doing what he doing, right? Because we know the Lord know, and we know that can happen, right? That is the Lord basically just, it's like he teasing Esau, it's like he rubbing it in his face, because the Lord say, hey, anyway, we go get into that also, because we had to read the Romans 9 anyway, right? But I'll still mention it. That's why the Lord say he loved Jacob and he hated Esau, right? Because Jacob, and not only that, right? And well, for the essence of time, right? We can go into it, but I'll mention it. We know the whole scene that went down with Cain and Abel, right? Because it really started from way back then, right? Because Cain killed Abel, right? Because the Lord accepted Abel's righteous offering, and he didn't accept Cain's own, right? Because Cain was giving the Lord willy-nilly thing. You understand? Because Abel, he was giving the Lord the first of the things that he brought forth, right? He put the Lord first, right? So whatever it is he planted or whatever it may be, he first crops of that, he gave the Lord that, right? Cain now, he was bringing thing, he is like he's saving the best for himself, and he carrying up wherever it is he really think, man, saying, man, this 1 foot kind of break, and I go get the Lord this one. That kind of way. He wasn't giving the Lord the best of the best. You understand? So the Lord say, he don't want that, right? I deserve better than that. You understand? That's how the Lord playing it off. But when the Lord warned him now, right? He say, hey, if you keep doing what you're doing, right, sin go come knocking at your door, right? But he didn't take heed to what the Lord say, and he disobeyed, and he ended up killing his brother, and that was the first time blood was shed on the earth. So it's way back then it started from. That is why the Lord caused that scenario when Cain and Abel was reincarnated now as Jacob and Esau, right? When they were reincarnated now, that is why the Lord played it off as it played, right? So it was meant for Jacob to get the blessing in the first place, right? Because of what Cain did way back then, right? But of course, when there was Esau and Jacob, they wouldn't have known, right? But we here now, in this time, we know, right? We know reincarnation is a thing, and it's real, right? So it's when they connect the pieces together, you'll know, right? And Esau now, as I mentioned, he doing what he doing because all these things that he did in the past is like he regret selling the birthright. That's why he's trying to get it back, right? By means carnally, right? He trying to do it carnally, and he said, all right, thing, he basically told himself, well, I don't need the Lord, I go do it myself, right? Because as we mentioned earlier, Isaac was Yahweh Shai, right? So if Yahweh Shai blessing Jacob, then he go take it upon himself to try and get it himself. So he started scheming, you understand? And the plan just keep thinking, what you know is Yahweh bash me, or should I put that plan in the head? You understand? Because we could never think so far ahead. You understand? It's years, It's years upon years, and this takes serious patience and effort and serious planning. You understand? And being able to do test runs and all these things without people even realizing it. You understand? You could tell me the Lord is not the one in control? Because no man right? No man could think of a plan that will last from generation to generation to generation, going on for years. You understand? That takes some serious planning and patience and whatnot. You understand? As the Lord predestinate all these things to happen. You understand? But anyways, right? So we mentioned here, we read the Jeremiah 31 and 37, right? Now let's get precepts that I have written down, right? So I guess we could read the Romans 9 now, right? We could get into that. Romans 9. Let's see here. Alright. Yeah, I'll just read from verse 11 to the point. Right, it's Romans 9 and verse 11. It says, "For the children be not yet born, neither having done any good or evil, that the purpose of the Most High according to the election might stand, right? Not of works, but of him that calleth. It was said to her that the elder shall serve the younger, as it is written, Jacob have I loved, but Esau have I hated." You understand? So you see what's going on here now. It's like I see that call coming in. Yeah. Anyways, so we mentioned Jacob have I loved and Esau have I hated earlier, right? But the point I want to read is in verse 11, where it says, "For the children for the children being not yet born, neither having done good or evil, that the purpose of the Most High according to election might stand, not of works, but of him that calleth," right? So it was destined from the beginning, right? Predestination. Because as we were talking about earlier, this plan that Esau supposedly come up with, which we know is the one who come up with all these things, is Yahweh Shai. We know that, right? Yahweh is the one that write the script, right? We carrying out what we're doing. That is why Esau doing what he doing and we doing what we doing. You understand? So, because when I go to also to Proverbs 16, right? Proverbs 16. Let me see there, verse 4, right? And mention what? The Lord had made all things for himself, yea, even the wicked for the day of evil, right? Which evil means bad times, right? So, as it mentioned, right? Esau and Jacob was creating, right? Because as we read, if you read Romans 9, that chapter is speaking about Jacob and Esau, right? They were the vessel made for, well, Jacob is the vessel made for honor, and Esau is the vessel made for dishonor, right? Because he was made for the day on he was made for the day of evil, right? So when it is you read down in the chapter, right? Because that's a very upper chapter to read, you know. It will give you the understanding. You know, the Lord is no respecter of persons. He's the one that is like, as I mentioned to this blasphemer on one of the comment boards once, right? It's like, let me say because it was a female, so I was telling her about her dolly house. I said, when you were small and you had your dolly house, how you imagine it in your mind, right? You will have your pawns, right? So let me say you are your little Barbie doll or whatever it is. You know that is the head character. You know that is your favorite dolly, so you go make this one be the star, right? You want this one to go through whatever it is. You know, you want this one to come out on top. So you go put all these other pieces in place for it to look. You go put these other pieces in place for them to do what they have to do, for your favorite character to come up on top. Or simple as if you're watching a show, right? The main character does always end up coming out on top, right? Because that is the one you favored. You understand? Same thing with the Lord. This is the Lord's movie, right? So he favored Jacob, so he want Jacob to come out on top. So he made Esau as well as the other nations. He gave everybody their own part to play. Everybody had their own lot, right? Even these wicked 2/3, they fulfilling their lot. You understand? Even though they are the Lord's people, right? So Esau is no different. You You understand? The Lord put the plan in Esau for him to pursue it and bring forth plans and whatnot, because the scripture say, hey, you can't do nothing against truth but for the truth. Why is that? Because everything that we're doing is for the truth, right? It's for everything to come to pass. You understand? And whether these devils want to admit it or not, right? They can't do nothing against it, because everything falling into the Lord's plan, right? So they were created for the day of evil, right? So they're going to get destroyed. Understand? Regardless, because as we read, if we read Psalms 58 and verse 3, it says, the wicked are estranged from the womb. They go astray as soon as they born. They be born speaking lies. We're talking about Esau, right? As soon as they're born speaking lies, because hey, when they think about it too, as they're born, they speaking lies, because why? That same spirit being reincarnated over and over and over again. And when they grow up, right? When they grow up under or when they grow up from other devils, right? Pay that way, right? If they grow up in a household learning only wickedness, which of course that is all they know, right? Regardless, right? But you grow up learning wickedness, you just gonna keep on going. So you gonna be speaking lies, you know, and you're going, right? And you learn about what it is your brother do, you know. You will get angry or whatever it is, but they refuse to acknowledge the part that, hey, you sold your birthright. You understand? It's like fair and square, and it's like you trying to come back now and get back your money. You know, as a movie they made down here in Trinidad, we call it Warlock, right? Two friends gambling, right? One friend win, the next one vex because he win fair and square, and he wanna kill him, and it turned into a whole war because he win all his money. You understand? And they end up killing it. Well, the one that win, he didn't end up dying, right? But the one that win, he family members and them was involved. The next one that lost, right? He and his little brethren and them, right? Everybody dead except the person that win. You understand? All these things turn into a war, and that, hey, at the end of the day, that going to turn out to be Jacob in the end, because he gonna be on top. You understand? And that's how the Lord set it. But Esau still gonna do what he had to do regardless. You understand? He gonna do what he had to do regardless. It's not gonna matter what happened, what is what. At the end of the day, the Lord is the one that in control of all spirits. You understand? So hey, it is what it is, right? But this is just some of the reasons why Esau doing what he doing. You understand? So I hope this lesson was edifying to the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Shai. You know, I want to say Kala Layam, La Alahaya Nawa, Yahweh, Bashem Shai, Bashem Makakodash. Double honors unto the apostles and elders agreed in stone. Salutations unto the elect out there. Till next time, we got a Kyle signing out. Shalom.